All right, let's talk about AI in business. We're going to move past all the hype and really break down how artificial intelligence is, completely rewiring the way companies operate. And look, this change isn't some far off future thing, it's happening right now. So, what's really going on under the hood? The source material we're looking at, it doesn't mess around. It jumps right in with this massive claim. It says AI is causing a fundamental transformation. And let's be clear, that's not just a small tweak or some software update. We're talking about a total ground-up shift in how everything works. And honestly, that's the perfect place for us to start. Okay, so fundamental transformation. That sounds huge, right? But what does that actually look like for a real business, on a Tuesday morning? How does that big, flashy headline translate into everyday work? And more importantly, long-term planning? Well, let's dig in and find out. So, the first big idea we've got to wrap our heads around is this. AI isn't just another tool you add to the toolbox. No way. This is not like getting a new version of your favorite software. The source is telling us to think of it as a full-blown revolution, one that forces you to rethink from the ground up how you do business. So if it's a revolution, what's the engine driving it? Well, it really boils down to two key pieces of tech. First, you've got machine learning, and that's not just fancy code. It's about creating systems that can actually learn from your data, spotting patterns, and even predicting what's next. Then there's natural language processing, or NLP. That's the magic that lets the AI understand us, our actual human language, whether it's in a customer complaint or a project update. Okay, so that's the tech, that's the engine, but how do you actually use it to, make things better? Where's the value? Let's get into the real-world opportunities, the things that AI is making possible for companies today. Our source breaks this down into three kind of logical steps. First up, you automate the boring stuff, all those repetitive tasks that bog your team down. That frees people up for step two, digging into these giant piles of data, stuff no human could ever sift through on their own. And when you can do that, you get to the really exciting part, step three, creating these super personalized experiences for your customers. And I really want to pause on that second step, the data analysis, because this is an absolute game changer. We're not just talking about running a sales report from last month. No, this is about AI combing through mountains of live data to see what's trending, what customers are doing. It's spotting these things almost in real time. So when you put all this together, the results are, well, they're huge. You start streamlining how you work inside the company. Your big decisions are suddenly based on solid data, not just gut feelings. And all of that gives you the ability to move away from one size fits all and start building products and services that feel like they were made for just one person. But, and this is a big but, here's where we need to get real for a second. The promise? It's incredible. We're talking about next-level optimization and making everything super personal for your customers. The reality, though, it's not like you just flip a switch and it all happens. Getting there takes new skills, and you absolutely need a smart plan for handling all that complex data. And that brings us squarely to the hurdles. Every major change has its challenges, its friction points, and this AI revolution is no exception. So let's talk about what those obstacles actually are. So our source points to three big ones. First, there's the people problem. Your team is going to need new skills to work with this stuff, and that means you've got to invest in training. Second, the plumbing. Your AI is only as smart as the data you give it, so having a solid data system is non-negotiable. And finally, and this is probably the toughest one, your strategy. You might have to face the fact that the old way of doing things, the business model that made you successful, well, it might not be the one that carries you forward. So, okay. We've got these incredible opportunities, but we've also got these really significant hurdles. So where does that leave us? Well, this is where we get to the most powerful idea from the source material. It's all about a major shift in how we even think about what AI is. And the key word, the one that changes everything, is catalyst. Think about it. A catalyst isn't just another ingredient in the mix. It's the thing that makes the whole reaction happen. It either starts it or speeds it up dramatically. It's the spark, the accelerator. And that, right there, is the core conclusion. AI has graduated. It's not just another tool in the box anymore.
It's not like your spreadsheet program. It is the catalyst, the central, fundamental driver for growth, for new ideas, and for simply staying in the game.
So we're left with a really important question. It's not about if your business should use AI anymore. The question now is how you're going to adapt to it being the main catalyst for, well, everything. So I'll leave you with this. Is your business ready? And maybe even more important, are you?